Om. 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 Sri Sai Ishwaraya Namaha Harihi Om.
Now move on to a very important section known as intonation. Intonations are the heart of the Vedas. For when we chant in the correct intonation, the beautiful energy of the Vedas starts to manifest within us and around us. Vedas is actually much easier than classical music. In classical music, there are 7 notes. Sa re ga ma pa da ni. In Vedas, there are just 3: the middle scale, the high scale, and the low scale. And there's one other exceptional sound which we will come to later. To guide us and assist us, let us use a Tanpura sound. In this particular case, we shall use the scale D. This is more or less the middle scale between the male vocal range and the female vocal range. Let us chant Om on this scale. Om. The sound of Om should match that scale. So that is your middle sound. Let us continue. As mentioned, we use the Tanpura and it provides us the middle sound. If, for example, a letter is written with no sign above it, no sign below it, no sign beside it, then the intonation is a middle sound. If, for example, there is a vertical line just above the letter or syllable, the intonation is a high sound. If, for example, the sound is low, intonation is low, this will be indicated by a horizontal line below the letter or syllable. Now, let us look at pronunciation combined with intonation. We have a horizontal line above the letter. Remember that this indicates the pronunciation. When the horizontal line is above the letter, we are stretching the sound. A becomes ah. And when the horizontal line is below the letter, it's indicating intonation. So here we have a double sound ah, and the sound is going low. Wonderful. Let's continue. Now that we know the theory of the intonation, the pronunciation, the combination, let us take the theory and put it into a practical example. The first line of the Sri Rudram Namakam. So when we're chanting any verses from the Vedas, let us use a Tanpura in the background. The Tanpura ensures that we always maintain the correct scale. It is just the middle scale, the correct shruti, the correct key, the correct pitch. So let us put a Tanpura sound on, which is scale D, which is the middle sound between a male vocal range and a female vocal range. It's quite a comfortable sound, not too high, not too low. We're going to play it a bit loudly. That is our starting scale, which we can also chant Om on. Om. Do practice chanting Omkaram on a Tanpura scale. It will help refine your hearing and your chanting. Om. Om is middle. Let's observe and look at this beautiful line. Let us divide certain syllables and observe, are they going high, are they going low, or are they middle sound? We have Om, middle, Na, middle, Mo, middle, Ba, middle, Ga, middle, Va, middle. All of these sounds, O, Na, Mo, Ba, Ga, Va, middle sound, because there's no vertical line above the syllable or horizontal line below the syllable indicating high or low. It is simply middle sound. However, look at te. Te has a vertical sign above it which indicates the intonation is going high. Rud is middle. Now we have ra. There's a horizontal above it which is indicating the stretching of the sound from ra to ra, and it has a horizontal below it which is indicating the intonation is going low. And ya is simply middle. So the sound of this particular verse, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. In this particular line, we were able to apply middle intonation sound. Intonation sound when it's going high, intonation sound when it's going low, as well as when there's a stretching of the sound from a to a, and when it's going low. Rudraya. We now look at one exceptional sound, which is known as the Dirgha Swarita or double accent, indicated by two vertical lines. These sounds will make sense once we go through examples, but we have seen them in the past whenever we're chanting Vedas or listening to various Vedic hymns. Let us go through some examples. Notice here we have a double A, so the A becomes A, and we have a Dirgha Swarita. So in this particular example 1, we have Prachodayat. So the sound is a bit of a wave. Prachodayat. It can also be singular. Yat cha bhavyam. In this particular case, the wave remains in the air. Yacha bhavyam. First example, pra cho da yata. Notice how we're dividing the various parts. So we have pra, middle sound, cho, going low, da, middle, ya, double A, so it becomes ya, and the wave is there. Prachodayata. In this particular case, we'll say ta, and not just yaat. We'll say yaat, which is a common occurrence when we're ending with the t sound, and there's a long vertical line to indicate the end of that particular verse. One line from the Rudram Namakam. So we can already now see that a is going low, so is middle, yes middle, tam double A going low, ro middle, aso yes tam ro, a is going singular high, ru singular u going low, a ru na middle, and singular a is there. Aso yes tam ro a ru na u low ta middle. Bub going low, ru. In this particular case, there is a visarga. The next letter we look at is a S sound. So babru becomes babrus. Babrus. Su is going high. Mang. Ga. La. What sound would we apply now? Because it's come to an end of the line, we identify the visarga, we look at the letter before it, which is an a sound, and it will always be middle. Though this a is going high, we apply the middle sound of the stretch part of a, so it becomes a. Su mangala ha. Aso yas tamro aruna uta babrus sumangalaha. Aso yas tamro aruna uta babrus sumangalaha. Now look at a very familiar, beautiful verse, which is the concluding verse of all prayers. What we can notice immediately from the previous examples and rules that we went over, there's a visarga and there's also a vertical long line indicating the end of that particular verse. From intonation, we can say that this is middle. Om. The H sound is there. There's a double A. Shan. That T sound is going low. There's a visarga. We look at the next sound, which is SH. So we say Om Shantish. Next one again is repetitive. We have Shan. Dish, because it looks at the preceding sound. So we have Om Shantish, Shantish, Shan. Now the T is going high. T. And what do we do now when we have a visarga and it's concluding? Or rather, it's followed by the conclusion of that particular line, indicated by a long vertical. We look at the previous sound, which is an I, and we're going to stretch it. Om Shantish, Shantish, Shanti.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.